Okay, I'm going to explain you something about the present simple. That is that we review at unit 8. First one, I'm going to explain you the rules of the third singular person. The third singular person, as you know, is he, she, and it. Yes. For conjugating these personal pronouns, the verbs with this personal pronoun, we are going to add the s. It could be the es or it could be the es, depending the verb. For example, if I want to say I cook, this is the verb. We don't have to change that. But if we say she cooks, we are going to add the letter s to the verb. But there are some verbs that end in the ws, x, ch, yes, for example, or the vowel o, we are going to use es. Example, I'm going to say he washes. Yes, we are going to add es at the verb. And then the last one is when a verb ends in the letter y, I'm going to change the letter y into an I. For example, with the verb study, I say she study, but we are going to omit the letter y and we are going to change it for a letter I, and then we have to add es, studies. Yes, this is very simple, that we are going to conjugate the verbs adding s, es, or ies only if the subject is he, she, or it. Yes, she does her homework. Yes, she does her homework. In this case, I add the letter E and S to the verb do because that ends in vowel O. This is about the conjugate verbs and the simple present. Then something about the present simple. We talk about the adverb frequency. For example, always, never, sometimes. Yes, there are some of frequency adverbs. And we are going to use in two ways. So the first one is with the verb to be. I'm going to use the subject, the verb to be. Then we are going to write the adverb. And finally, you can see the verb. And finally, the complement. Yes, but if we are going to use an action verb, no a verb to be, an action verb, we are going to write it first, subject, then we have to write the adverb, and then we have to write the verb, and finally the complement. Yes, for example, you can see, she is always sad. That means ella está siempre triste. Como uso el verbo to be aquí, uso el adverbio de frecuencia después. Pero si es un verbo de acción, primero tengo que usar el adverbio de frecuencia. For example, she never eats candies. Ella nunca come caramelos. Yes. And we conjugate a verb. Seguimos conjugando el verbo normalmente. Yes. So I can tell you here some about this. Let me check. In this level, we are going to review some frequency adverbs here. This one, yes, we are going to use always when we do an activity, the 100% of the time, usually it's 90. Normally and generally we have 80. Often, frequently, we have 70, sometimes 50, occasionally 30, seldom 10, and hardly ever rarely. We have 5%, and finally never, that means 0%. Yes, that is really, really easy. Now I'm going to explain you something about the auxiliaries in present simple. We are going to use do and we are going to use does. Does is for she, for he, and for it. And that and do we are going to use for the rest of the personal pronouns of the rest of the subjects. For example, I, we, you, and they. Yes, we are going to use to with this. So the auxiliaries help us to write negative statements and questions. Yes, there is that we are going to do with that. So the first is negative statements. We are going to put do plus not means don't. Yes, and does plus not is doesn't. Sí, se convierte, ¿no? Eso usamos las contracciones. And we are going to review the grammar structure for negative statements is subject, auxiliary, plus not, plus verb, plus complement. Yes, for example, she doesn't cook very well. Yes, or we can use another, for example, I don't like apples. This is negative structure. Now what happened with the questions? We are going to use the auxiliary, yes, again, but we are going to change the order. For example, do, then the subject, this is auxiliary. Yes, auxiliary, then we have subject, verb, complement, and of course the question mark. For example, do you want a new car? If the answer is affirmative, I'm going to say yes, I want. If the answer is negative, I'm going to say no, I'm sorry. Yes, I do. Or no, I don't. Yes, that is that we are going to use the auxiliaries and simple present.